Hello and welcome to Happy Foot Sad Foot, the post-game live stream after, well, a shit show. A real huge loss at home. I guess you could say it was long overdue. I don't know that it was due, but it's been a real long time since that happened. It was they destroyed us. They just ran right through us. Start to finish. It was bad. It was real bad. I had a bad time.
Well,
The team had a bad time. Vince LaRosa is here. Did you have a bad time?
I'm pissed, Darren. I'm really mad. I don't think I've ever been this mad, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because in a game that LAFC absolutely got slaughtered and demolished, and there's nothing really good to take from this game, your bet cashed. I can't fucking believe this. How dare you?
I feel like I should renounce the bet. Like I can't do it.
Like
I don't know if I can take the money.
the
I'm gonna have
shittiest
to
of
do some really
hustle goals.
some real
No,
heavy thinking between now and the
good work
pregame
by.
recording.
I will say this: good work by Nathan to like follow it up, and then it is a good finish. But god damn it, like come on.
Yeah, I don't like this. I had a bad time winning. Bet it and forget it. It's not good.
Now you've won
Hang on.
twice this year. Ugh.
Yeah, I think I already topped last year. It's because I am such an expert that I know what's going to happen, because I can so clearly
Yeah,
predict the
I kn
outcomes,
I
you
now
know.
cede my expertness to
Oh,
you.
we're going to have to figure out the different
So
roles in the show.
so I actually I would love it if you just started us
Oh
off and
fuck.
tell us
No.
what you thought.
Let's get some sad foots out of the way because there's plenty.
Yeah.
Maybe we get the happy foots out of the way. What do you think? Hugo Lloris had some good saves, and then a
Y
whole bunch of them that he didn't save. Most
Yeah,
I can't think
that's
of
about it.
any. That's a lot of goals. I can't think of any that he really had a chance at.
No,
Uh,
I don't think anyone can walk away from this game being like, performed to my best today. I think that goes for everybody.
right,
Like,
right, right.
I know that we're probably going to get into it, and a lot of people are going to get on Steve. I don't think anyone's blameless in all of this, although I do
Sure.
think that the heaviness of the blame being put on Steve is a little much. And also, let's not forget, Columbus are the reigning champions. They are a good team. So if this had been Dallas or Minnesota or even the Galaxy that put this on LAFC, I'd be a lot more upset if I were a fan,
Sure.
or just myself. But I mean, I understand why people are upset. But I'm gonna say like, you know, Columbus is a good team. There's got to be a percentage of this that is because of because like they played a pretty near perfect game. I didn't see them make very many mistakes. They had good finishing. They also had some like great finishing too. Like Cucho's goal is just you can't defend that. Like
Yeah.
that's a great finish. So
Well,
it's a lot of things.
yeah, we're gonna get into. I'm sure we'll get into tactics at some point. I mean, I won't. You might, but yeah. I mean, it was clear from the jump that like we haven't faced a challenge at this level for a while. Like things have been pretty cushy. I think I already said that, but like
Sure.
we've been playing some U.S. Open Cup games, some USL teams. We've been playing teams that are underperforming. We've been playing to the best of our ability. I mean, this was a different team than the kind of team we faced in a while. And it was very clear. They were executing their game plan very well. We were not, whether or not it was the right game plan, I don't know. Maybe you'll know. But whatever we were trying to do, we weren't doing it very well.
Mm-hmm.
They play great. They are great. Are great. We played poorly, and it showed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many teams. I don't know if we had played that game at our best, or at least like executed what we were trying to do properly. I don't know. They still could have come away with that. They were really fucking good.
They were they were very good. I think like if you do want to get into like what the two teams were trying to do, Columbus is always going to be very strategic in their buildup. They use basically they play in a 3-2-5. So They have their 3 center backs that are all very good on the ball, all very good passers, all very confident on the ball. They can even dribble a little bit. Then they have 2 midfielders, one Darlington Nagbe, who's almost impossible to get the ball from, and Zawitsky, who's kind of newer there because they did have Aiden Morris, but he's shown that he can play in that position. And then they send 5 guys forward, and those 5, their job is to pull you apart. Their job is to get the wing backs wide, and then go from outside to inside and use Rossi and Cucho, who play kind of as like 10/9s, and they just kind of go find the game in between the lines, and they yank you apart. So LAFC wanted, and if you watched it early on, you saw Duenas and you saw Atuesta push up really tight on the midfield. LAFC's, I think their tactic was, let's try to blunt them at like kind of the access point, because a lot of times Columbus will play and teams will say, we'll just sit back, and then they let Nagbe and Zawitsky control the game. LAFC wasn't going to allow them to do that. So Columbus instead goes wide. And when they go wide, LAFC at times was good. They were able to shut them down, but a couple times Hollingshead and even Palencia made kind of rash challenges or attempts, and that allowed them to get in. You saw that on the first header from Cucho. You see that on what ends up being the goal on the other side from Palencia. And so LAFC is not able to control that. But I would say the bigger problem for LAFC was this. They had kind of an idea of what they wanted to do against them, and I think Columbus eventually found a way around it, but really they found a way around it because you gave them so many possessions. LAFC then, when they had the ball, were not sharp. They wanted to play. They wanted to play around the crew. They did a couple times early and then started to lose the ball again. And realistically, you know that the crew's going to get theirs. You have to then make what you have hurt them.
Yeah, 100%.
And maybe that's not just scoring, and that's not always scoring a goal. Like, obviously, if you can score a goal in the crew, that helps. But I mean more so like deep progressions, chances. And LAFC really couldn't get the ball progressed deep into the final third. And and at the same time, they're losing the ball at times and giving the crew half the field to go against. So it's a lot of it, to me, is execution. You could say that you would prefer LAFC to play a different way and not push up so tightly on those 2. But then it's like a pick your poison. So you don't push up so tightly on those 2, and you allow them to pick you apart because they're just going to, have that space in front of them. It's tough. That's why I say, like, I don't think this is like some kind of masterclass per se, because like everyone knows that this is how the crew play. I've watched, I wrote about them last season, and I wrote exactly this, and this is how they play. So it's like, you have to just execute better than them, and they didn't. And, I think we could talk more about, like, I think later in the game, I would say that there was some missteps by Steve. Don't leave Sergio in that game. And I think
the yellow.
Yeah, with the yellow, and look, the coaching staff, I think the mindset is like, we're always going to go for it. At 4-1, 3-0, like maybe just,
they had 3 subs, 67th minute, I think.
Yeah, maybe just stop. Subs. Yeah, maybe just stop the bleeding at that point. But like, that's not the team's mentality. So I don't know if you can just all of a sudden like hold your hands up and be like, guys, don't let them score anymore. Like, you're always not letting them score anymore.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's 3. They get up by that many goals. It's game state, and the guys are just like, okay, caution to the wind. Fuck it, let's go. And honestly, that's the worst thing you can do against the crew, because they're gonna just keep carving you up even more,
especially on defense. Yeah. It's like you make that call, and it's like you're unaware that that's the reason you're down, is that it's what you've been doing. That's the problem.
Yeah. So the game, honestly, the game is won. The game is won almost at 2-0, because at 2-0, LAFC go out and they say, okay, let's just see what we can do. If we can make it 2-1, if we get the next goal, maybe we can make this a game. They don't. The crew get the next goal, and at 3-0, then it's really over. So that's kind of my assessment of the game.
That was a fantastic breakdown. I feel like based on the chat or callers, we might just need to refer back to that. I feel like it was complete. We can just switch to vibes now if you guys want. Let's see what everybody has to say.
Yeah, I will say this. Don't get me wrong. If you guys are pissed because your team just lost 5-1 at home, like, I'm with you.
Everybody's going to go back.
I'm not saying
we're here, right?
Yeah. I'm not saying that that's not bad, but remember, when I break these games down for you, I'm trying to say, like, what is something that I'm absolutely terrified about for the rest of the season? Well, I guess I could say that if we play against a really good team that's on their game and we don't play as well, we're going to get the shit kicked out of us. Yeah, I'm terrified about that. But for the most part, it's
That's
not
what
going to
everyone's
happen throughout
terrified
the.
about.
Yeah, that's what everyone's terrified about. That's called sports.
Vince,
That's sports, baby.
thank you. Okay, let's take a caller. Daniel, you've been waiting for a while. Any happy foots? Probably not. Any sad foots? Let us know. What do you think?
Guys, that game was the perfect symbol of the state of the world lately. Um, as the world's burning around you, like this is fitting what we got tonight. That game was atrocious on like many levels. Dude, Vince, we did nothing for 90 minutes. We did absolutely nothing. Like we barely got the ball out over onto the other half of the field. We got stuck on our end. We were playing from the back the whole time. This game was an absolute disaster on so many levels. First sad foot. Why was the stoppage time 7 minutes? I did not count 7 minutes of stoppage time. It did not feel like 7 minutes of stoppage time. So that was just more ref dumbassery. I mean, we got absolutely dominated tonight. Happy foot though. Olivier Drew is coming, so it's not the end of the world. And hopefully England loses tomorrow, so we have that too. So
just because
Man,
yeah, just because
England just catching strays.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, but I think that match was not really that match wasn't really much of a Columbus good performance more than we just fucked up. So it's I don't know.
You think so? Wait, no. I mean, if Columbus is fucking up, they're turning the ball over a lot or stuff like that. Like Columbus is pinging it around.
No. It was more of us. It was more of us fucking up. They were just doing what they normally do.
Yeah, but I think when I say I would agree with you in saying we fucked up in the fact that like when they had the ball, when LAFC had the ball, they didn't do much with it. But honestly, even though like this is going to be wild, I know a lot of people are going to fucking drag me for this, but at 5-1, like LAFC did not play that poor of a defensive game up until, like I said, at 2-0 is when the game is kind of over because you just kind of go for it and all game plans go out the window. But when we got to the point at 2-0, like LAFC, although they're allowing a lot of possession, weren't exactly. It wasn't like they were like just murdering them with shots. Like they did pretty well to kind of get tight to Columbus and do their best to hold them off. I think. I mean, you can disagree with me there, but I just don't think that I don't think it was as piss poor. But yes, Columbus was another level tonight.
It's just like when we're playing as elite we were the last couple of weeks to generate offensively nothing for 90 minutes against, someone you may face in a potential MLS Cup final is unacceptable. So, I don't know, like, I guess another, happy foot is at least this will push back against the Dolo USMNT talks for a little while because he is absolutely the wrong choice. So, I mean, there's happiness in that. But look, we've been hot for a couple of weeks now. It's been like ages since we lost. Yeah. So, it was bound to happen. So it's
got to get a dose of this every now and again.
Yeah, we remember in 2022, I believe near the end of that season, we kind of had like a rough spot too before jumping into the playoffs, and we slowly got our mojo back and we won the cup that year. So it's not like the sky's not falling yet. Obviously, it wasn't a pleasant time. So
yeah, this is not a doomsday scenario so much as just a doomsday.
Yes, I mean,
again, I'll be honest. Well, I'll be honest with you. I would be curious, and there's no way to know, but I would be curious to know how people felt if that game ended 3-0 instead of 5-1. Because I honestly feel like that was the game, 3-0, and then it just goes bonkers for there. And from there, everyone's
it was over.
Just doing, everyone's just doing what they want. So like, I think at 3, if somebody goes to me like, well, I'd much rather it would have been 3-0. I would have been like, well, I'd be just upset about how the team didn't generate chances at 3-0. And you know what I mean? Like, it's a weird game. It's weird to break down, but I agree with a lot of your points. Like get it out of the way now. Like we've learned a lesson about a team that like we could come up against an MLS Cup. So like you need to understand like you're not that good. Like and this is a lesson and hopefully something you carry with you the rest of the season.
I'm weirdly not angry. I guess it's the fact that reinforcements are coming, and that we've been on this hot streak for a while. I mean, I just wanted a good game, guys, especially today.
Yeah, I think that's maybe where a lot of the tough part of this is coming from is like it's Columbus. We wanted the revenge.
Yes.
In a lower stakes game, I feel like it would be much easier to just be like, well, on to the next one. This hurts a little bit more. Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining us, Daniel. As always,
thanks, dude.
We'll see you again soon.
Tell Rivers I said hello. No.
Of course.
Yes.
We've got more callers coming to us. We'll put the link to join us live on air in the chat as well. LAFC Luke, if you're with us, please join us. I know you've been waiting. Maybe at the match. We don't know. Hey, you're on the air. How's it going?
Yeah. That was garbage, and I think it's probably our worst.
What game were you watching?
Was that our worst
I'm just kidding,
home loss ever?
It might have been actually.
Statistically, yeah. I'm trying to think of like there's definitely been games where I feel like they've played worse against worse competitions, but yeah, statistically, it's definitely the worst home loss.
I mean, also, however else you want to, whatever alternative to statistically, I think it probably fares pretty well on that front too.
It felt to me like we didn't have a midfield, and I know Vince, you were breaking it down in terms of like their approach to the game, but like it felt like our approach was 4 folks in the back line and lump it up if you can, but otherwise it's just turning it over and over and over to Columbus. Like we didn't seem to have any way to get through the midfield.
They actually, I have it in my notes. It wasn't until about the 35th minute that LAFC decided, okay, we're going to play over the press. They really were intent on trying to play through the press. I would say here's where I think you might be onto something where they didn't have a midfield. I will say this. I was a little bit disappointed in some of the guys in the fact that like when guys would get the ball and they were under pressure, they would look up and not have an option to pass to. So there were some guys maybe not showing up, not showing for the ball as much. So maybe they, from that from that mentality, like I would be very disappointed. Like I kind of come back to like Pep Guardiola used to tell his teams like, look, I don't care if you make a mistake, but when I get really pissed is when you don't want the ball. If you don't want the ball, we can't play. And I think that that crept into LAFC a little bit where guys didn't want the ball and maybe were scared to make a mistake.
Sure. Yes. Let's go with yes. I mean, look, I don't know that I've seen us play that badly at home in years. Like it looked like we were just outclassed 100%. There was not a single player on our side that looked like they were better than the worst player on Columbus.
Well, I can remember. I can remember the last time we played that poorly away, and it was against the same team. So, I think the takeaway from that on that front to me is like we still need to figure out how to beat Columbus. That's still the problem, or at least the goal, right? Like they're as good as they are, and we still aren't there.
Darren, I hate to say that sports again, baby, but Columbus is the reigning champion. So yeah, you do want to figure out how to beat the reigning champions.
Yeah, exactly. Luke, we lost you. I don't know if you're coming back. What do you think? Well, let's see. Luke,
yeah, we lost you for a second.
Are you on again? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like,
are you hanging up on us in disgust?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. You dropped for a second there. We thought your mic dropped us without being on camera, which would be so weird.
Anything else you wanna get out there before you hit the road? Which I'm sure you're in a passenger seat of a car. What's that? Oh, yeah. We are losing you. It turns out we are losing you. I'm sorry.
All right, we love
Throw
you,
it in the chat, and we'll talk about it for sure. LAFC Luke with a pitch perfect Joey One Bar impression. Ryan, welcome to the show. You're on. It looks like you were at the match.
I was at the match. I was about to try to sneak past this fence to get to the train, but I will stop here and chat with you guys for a moment.
Okay. I hope that's good. You're shrouded in darkness right now.
Yes, it is.
You're with
it
us.
is very dark in the area where I am.
It's
you're
not
with us.
not just your temperament and your feelings right now. This is
yes. You're here on the condition of anonymity.
There you go.
Better. Made it around the fence. I guess this feels very like deja vu right now. I am walking away from us getting drubbed by Columbus. Like, I guess the score in the final was not as dire as this, but it felt pretty much exactly the same. Like every single matchup, Columbus was just a little bit better than us, and it just felt like there was essentially no hope for the entire match. And I don't know. I feel like when I hear commentators saying the East is, clearly better than the West, I always want to like dive into the stats and figure out how I can torture the stats to say like, no, there's just more above average teams in the West, but it just doesn't seem like there is. It seems like the East just is better than the West at the top, and
the top for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Columbus, Cincy, Miami, like, and honestly, on our end, it's us.
The only happy foot here is like this today was essentially Columbus making up some ground in the shield race. Everybody else dropped points.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a happy foot right there.
The one and only.
Other happy foot, last happy foot before I go. It was nice to see a bunch of podcast listeners at halftime. We had a pretty sizable meetup. It was pretty cool.
Yes, that is on my happy foot list. It's a short one, and that's a big one. Thank you to everyone who organized that and went to that. That was so cool to see. There's some awesome photos from there. You guys are the best. It's amazing to see that. This is awesome. If anybody's got more photos, share them. We'll throw them out there. This is so cool. Let's keep doing that for sure.
On to Wednesday. We'll try it again.
Yep.
Try it again in a couple days.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you again soon. Thank you for doing the meetup and for calling in.
Thanks. See y'all.
All right. Denise is joining us now. Welcome to the show.
That was so sad. That was so hot garbage. It was painful just to see just the stadium empty out at minute 80.
This is you're the second caller in a row from the match, and I'm noticing a thread of like there's an extra real like gut punch I'm feeling from you guys.
Yeah, it's probably a lot harder when you're there. I guess Darren and I dodged a bullet there, but
yeah, you did. You would normally be right there, Vince.
Travis fled to Europe to avoid it.
That's how he knew what was coming.
He saw it coming.
He did. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
But I do wanna just jump off of his the happy foot. It was awesome to see so many. There were more listeners that I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I did get to meet Luke, so it's nice to meet LAFC Luke and all these other people that y'all brought together. Thank you.
Darren put it.
Thank you. This is
Darren put it in the group chat at halftime. Or not at halftime, past halftime. Like I think it was 3-0 by that point. So I was pretty like, oh, this is not going to be good. But then I saw that, and I gotta admit, I got a little misty eyed. Like that was very cool that you guys all did that. That is definitely a feel good. And again, will be the only thing I take from this match. I will forget everything else that has happened in the past 24 hours.
I will work so hard to forget everything except for that.
Yes. It'll just be that the time we all met.
Yep, I will be printing out that photo and hanging it on my wall, and everything. Nothing else that has happened that day will matter to me.
Also, Sombrero Kid, his birthday.
Happy birthday, Sombrero Kid.
His birthday, yeah. He had like a
got
whole
an official.
outfit and everything.
He got an official thing on the big screen. It looked like.
He did. And what's his name? Ivan Tamayo. Ivan Tamayo?
Tamayo, I think. Yeah, he's got a jersey with his name on the back.
But what we're saying is,
out.
Sombrero Kid, who is known for taking his shirt off, we give him a bunch of clothes, and then we get blown out. Like, what have we learned here?
Uh-oh.
I know. Don't have another birthday. No, that's terrible. No, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, happy birthday, kid. This one's not so good.
It's the Sombrero Kid tax.
I will say, there are so many sad feet, but as soon as Boanga left the game, I was like, oh man,
that was
gave up.
That was a full give up. Except Ordaz went in for him. Or Daz scored. He didn't. Maybe it was just good tactics from Dolo. I don't know. Everyone's going to really agree with that one.
It was a sad foot turned happy foot. But
I guess so.
yeah. Yeah.
Well,
overall sad, but happy to meet everyone. And we have 3 games coming up, I guess. 2 games? 2 games next week.
The games never end.
Games.
Yeah, just get ready. Yeah,
I think it's 100 games.
Just get ready.
Yeah.
That's what maybe that is a slight happy foot is like, hey, you guys can try to forget this right away because we play on Wednesday and we play again on Saturday. Yeah.
That's right. We got to get back on the horse. We'll do more meetups. We will make sure we're here to make sure the season is fun no matter what turn it takes. So thank you for joining us and for representing it.
Thank you.
We'll see you again soon. We got more callers. This is awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out. This is like, it's fun to hang out after a win. It's necessary to hang out after a loss. This is fun. David T, you're on the air. Welcome to the show. I believe this is maybe your first time calling in. We love having you here. Welcome.
First time, short time.
Okay.
Awesome.
I love it.
So I discovered you guys recently on the Twitter machine. And so I went back like a dork and listened to the January podcast up. So I'm caught up.
My goodness.
Awesome. Wow.
I am a friend of the foot. So I love your work.
Fantastic. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Happy Foot. It's past midnight in my side of the world. So I'm in Texas.
Okay.
I'm in Texas. So at least I get to sleep after this not so good game. And so I figured the first time I reach out to you guys is after a loss. Cause as you said it, Darren, no happy, just past midnight.
I mean, I'll consider this a happy foot that we've got somebody in Texas on our side over here.
Yeah.
Instead of, who would it be? Would it be Dallas? Would it be Austin? Who's closest to you?
South, San Antonio.
Oh, okay. Yes. So he said, fuck both of them. I'm an LAFC fan.
Exactly. 100%. And it got rained out in Houston the other day. So I'm glad I didn't make that trip.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys been down to Austin yet?
No.
I have. I have been to Austin.
I've been there just in general, but I have not been there for a match.
Just neck of the woods. But for a game?
Yeah, I was able to go to 2. This was when LAFC was still undefeated against Austin, so they won both of them. And it was great. The one I did not go to was the one last year where everyone wanted to be at, and they got trounced by Austin. So as far as I know, they're very good in Austin.
Yeah, no, definitely. I went to the Bale game. Bale starting with Chicho and Vela, and that was a 4-1. It was pretty awful, but at least I got to see them. So, all right, one actual footy discussion. Is life different with Tilly and with Kike on the field tonight?
I think, I mean, look, it's easy to say yes, right? Because you hope that it is, but I think so. Because look, I thought Duenas, he's 19 years old. He's in a tough spot. I thought that he did some good things, but then showed his immatureness and age and some other things. And some of the times he gave away the ball when maybe he could have thought a little bit quicker on his feet and done something a little bit quicker. That's not a problem with Tillman, right? So I think you get a little bit more control with Tillman. And then with Kike, maybe you just get a little more verticality. Maybe you can play the ball, play a few more long balls and understand that he has the speed to latch onto them. Again, this is all kind of in hindsight and just theoretical, but I do think it makes a legit difference. And I know a lot of people have been asking in the chat, is the game different with Giroud? And I think it definitely is, because you saw Kai really working hard and really, really trying to hold up as many balls as he could. He's able to get a couple. I think Giroud is much better at that. And also they got to just respect Giroud a little bit more. Look, again, it's all theoretical. It's all like in hindsight, but as Daniel said in the very beginning, like the only one good thing to look forward to is like the team's only going to get better with reinforcements. I would look, if we could get this in, I would love to see this in MLS Cup again. And see what it would look like.
I am done with Columbus. I'm Ohio'd out. OH, I know. And but inject that into my veins. I'm here for Kike. I'm here for Ollie. So hey fellas, a pleasure. Love your work. Say hi to the white boy for me. But love your work. Big fan. Of what
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for coming on. Come back soon.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, come back soon.
All right. Let's keep rolling with the colors. LAX Andy, I see you muted. If you're around, jump on. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys.
You were at the match. You helped organize this meetup. Thank you so much for doing that. It looks amazing.
Yeah, if you could only talk about the meetup and how good that was.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's not even talk about the match.
that was completely my plan. I just had to jump on and thank everybody. We had quite a few folks that came out, showed up. I just got to thank every single one of y'all that made it out. Thanks. Like we were gathering in the corner, and then Pride Republic kind of just like invited us over to their photo. Shout out to them for making us feel included here. That's awesome. And just again, everybody was just so lovely to meet. Everybody was just so happy. I think it was only 1-0 at that point. So we weren't feeling too bad.
Still had the hope. It's the hope that kills you.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was kind of like lucky, I guess is the word, that it was 1-0 at that point. I mean, they were completely outplaying us the first half too.
Well, I remember like having a conversation with somebody at that point that was literally like, we're still in this, and I walking over, I definitely heard like positive reactions from the crowd. I wasn't sure what exactly was happening, but just really. And thanks to Ryan. I know he called earlier. Actually hooked us up with some tickets up in the Founders Club. Me and Anish had a great time up there. Thanks again. Just everybody, just a wonderful community showing up and hooking everybody up with good vibes for a bit of a time.
I mean, I can't think of a better silver lining to a match like that. So thank you. Yeah, thank you to everyone who did that. That was awesome. I hope that we can join you soon on the next one.
Absolutely,
Anything else you want to hit while you're on?
I mean, I'm gonna try my best. I always try to look for the silver lining in here, and I was thinking if we could go back in time to late March when we were like 1-3-1 or something like that. To be at this point, I know this sucks, and everything about tonight on the field sucked. I understand that, and I understand that people are upset and disappointed, but we went like 12 in a row. At some point, that had to end, and it sucks that it ended this way. It sucks that it ended against these folks, against Columbus, but it had ended some point. I mentioned in the chat, I was walking back to my seat, some random stranger was like, "Dolo out," right? I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, I'm not going to get into the USMNT stuff. It's a whole other thing. Look, tonight just sucked, but it was inevitable that we were going to lose. And again, if you go back to the end of March and you told me that we were where we are right now, I'm not sure exactly where we are in the West. I know it's up at the top. And I'd have to trade it for this drumming to Columbus. I'm pretty sure all of us would have taken that. So, all perspective.
Yeah, I guess it's a little nice for this to be surprising because, you're right. This would not have been surprising in any way whatsoever at the point that you mentioned in that early in the season. We'd have been like, "Oh, Columbus. Well, that one's gone."
And I know this one might be a little bit of a stretch. This one might be a bit of a stretch, but I was thinking back to when your Celtics lost to the Clippers in a random game during the middle of the season this year. And
my goodness. Okay. I'm with you.
The narrative in the NBA this year was Western Conference, class, Eastern Conference just wasn't with it. Boston was clearly the top of the East. And look, you can only play who you're going to play. And everybody's talking about the East. At the end of the day, I'm feeling that we're going to be in the MLS Cup. I like our chances. We're only going to face one of these teams, and it'll be challenging. But just look at what the Celtics did. They ran through the East. It wasn't much of a challenge for them. Obviously, I think the West will be more of a challenge for us. And then they got to the final, and they only had to face one opponent from the supposedly class conference. So again, a bit of a stretch, might be too much, but hopefully that makes it feel better.
I'm not the guy who's going to challenge it. Thank you for choosing the episode that Travis is not on to compare us to the Celtics.
You never would have gotten through that if Travis was on this.
Well, first of all, go Knicks. Fuck the Celtics, and also fuck Spain tomorrow. Let's go England.
Fair.
Oh, one England fan. Okay.
No, I'm just not. I'm not rooting for the folks that raped and pillaged specifically my ancestors.
Sure. Okay.
Fair.
We're not. Yeah, we might not all agree on that one for our own situations. I will say I'm also, just for the record, I am also a Knicks fan, which is a weird thing that
which
I'm not
is
supposed
bananas,
to be,
and everyone should just this is
not a Lakers fan, but
yeah.
Anyway, we're getting off the rails a little bit, but I feel like we got plenty of off the rails for later to go to. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you so much for doing the meetup. This was awesome. We'll see you at a meetup soon.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll see you on the
Thanks,
show
Andy.
soon. Thanks a lot. I see Luke. Luke is back. You're on the show. Do you mean to be on the show? All right, Luke.
Hey, Luke,
will you
before you give us your next point, will you remind people that you guys have a meetup? I shouldn't just say you guys. That Pride Republic has a meetup as well every halftime, and that people can be a part of that.
Does it always happen to be in the same spot that ours happened to be in tonight?
Pride Republic has been doing a meetup behind section 107, 108 at halftime for the last 5 years.
Yes,
that's been our thing. That's what we do.
You pulled us from a section away. It sounds like.
I just want to make sure that you.
Look, it was great seeing everyone, and like we did our photo. We had Happy Foot, Sad Foot folks in that, and then the Happy Foot, Sad Foot folks was like just their own contingent gathered up, and I was like, I'm joining this. So it was great. It was great.
You.
Good. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that you reminded people because you have been doing it for 5 years. And it's one of the coolest things, and I want people to know about it. And it happens every single game. So very cool. I would say this. Thanks for allowing the Happy Foot Sad Foot people to do it right there next to you. That's
joining
cool.
the Pride Republic
family, right?
meetup should be a component of the Happy Foot Sad Foot meetup.
We're all a family. Look, I have a Happy Foot that is more maybe sort of an athlete's foot, which is we're still the number one team in the Western Conference.
I have that in my notes. Yes.
Athlete's foot because we could have actually done something tonight because everyone else lost.
It's both. It's everything. But yes, the universe is helping us tonight. Thank you for bringing that up. The Galaxy lost. Last I checked, it was 3-0. I don't know what the final score was.
Yeah, they lost 3-0.
And then RSL 2-0, I believe.
Yep.
We're the only one who got a goal. At the top of the West.
Goal differential got a little tighter there, but you know.
Yeah, we didn't do ourselves any favor of that. That part.
Goals 4 is that a tiebreaker? Goals 4.
Goals 4 is a tiebreaker at a certain level. Yes.
So I was like 6 down the list.
Yes. We had a chance. We didn't really get there, but I did want to say before I cut out that my Happy Foot was getting to meet somebody of the Happy Foot, Sad Foot folks up in the northeast corner at halftime. That was great.
We've already had at least one person on who's specifically excited to get to meet you, as I'm sure many were. So thank you for being a part of it.
I don't really have a Sad Foot because it's just the whole damn thing.
I think that's fair.
Everything. Just everything.
Every part about it was sad. Everyone looked lost.
Genuinely sad. Not just like there's no stretch tonight for like.
At some point, Denny kicked the ball up into section like 225 or something. It was like,
oh yeah, that ball went searching for Ollie.
Guide the ball. Yeah, Ollie didn't want to be there. I mean, they like showed us Ollie 10 minutes into the game. Thank God Ollie's alive, but you know, like Ollie didn't want to go anywhere near that lure. It's like, all right, cool. We're just gonna be that tonight. You know, they ate us up. And I was so mad seeing the like 20 Columbus fans who look like they're straight out of the pages of some like Midwest town that is I'm not gonna go there.
You're getting careful here. I can tell.
I grew up in the Midwest. So I know these are my people, and you know, I was like, go back. I don't want you here. In your Charlie Brown effing jerseys, kids, whatever. Go back.
Yeah, it does look to lose in the Charlie Brown kids.
Also,
it really
does. They're yellow. Stop calling yourself gold.
It's not
your
gold.
color
Not
is
gold.
yellow.
Yes.
Your
this is a good time to bring up this. I saved this
platonic ideal of yellow. Like when I think of yellow in my head, literally that is the color.
I mean,
good time to bring up.
At the final last year, it was like, oh, this is like if you just trawled through every soccer league, kids soccer league, and found all the soccer moms and put them in one stadium.
Yep.
Like, not even where they call it football, but just soccer. Like, you went
think, yeah.
You know,
I think their parking lot has larger spots than all the other parking lots in the MLS because it's all minivans.
Yeah, you need it.
And that was, I was getting that vibe from the 20 of them that were there tonight, and good for them.
The 20 of them.
You know, that they showed up, and fine.
This is a good time to bring up Chris Walker in the chat from Black Diamond Supporter Group, who we had on last week. New Mexico fan said in the chat, "Happy Foot, you got to drink beer without milk in it." Worth bringing up.
Is that a thing?
That was the thing that we mentioned about going to
Who
Columbus.
does that?
It was just a joke that we threw away that he's referencing from our episode that Travis made about how milk fed, I suppose.
I can't keep everything Travis says straight, and I don't know what is true. I've had 90% of it. I'm sure it's not true.
Vince. Yeah, I've had lots of practice. But I think it's worth shouting out the New Mexico fans who it sounds like vastly outnumbered.
And we'll say we had a New Mexico supporter who just moved back to LA, who came up to the Pride Republic tenant tailgate today, became a new Pride Republic member, is super excited.
Oh my God.
So, you know, love it. Love the supporter culture. I would just say, to like finish up my thought here on all this stuff, we knew July was going to be tough.
Yes.
Like, I remember after our win on end of June, I like put in the chat in guess what, y'all? Like, July is going to be a shit show because it's a game every 3 days all the way. I mean, even with the break that we're getting between this and Leagues Cup, it's still only 5-6 days. It's not even a full week, right? It is just go, 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 go. So, like, here we are. And, you know, I think, you know, we're going to see what we're made of now, because it's RSL next, at Seattle next, boom, boom, Leagues Cup. Like, maybe we can get Giroud in here. Hopefully that helps. But like, this is where the rubber meets the road. And I don't know, y'all. I'm getting a little bit of anxiety of like that post CONCACAF woes that we had last year, where it was just like, where we just sort of tanked.
We knew it was going to ebb and flow, This is a good point. And you know what? Maybe this is as good a wake up call as any, because we do need it. Like, it's getting to another level now, and we got to like get serious here. Once we get into the last few months here,
Brindle doesn't go anywhere. Maybe that's what it means.
It's funny because it's like, I want to be like, great, that's what we want, but it sounds like there's a lot of people who would love to lose him at this
I don't
point.
want to like kick people while they're down, but I hate to break it to you. This game probably had nothing to do with whatever decision they're making about Steve Cherundolo, but I could be wrong.
All right.
All right. Thanks for joining us as always.
This sucked. Good night.
Good night. All right. We got Alex on the show now. Alex, what do you got for us?
What's up, Vince?
What's up, dude?
So I saw Carlos and Haraz calling last week, so I figured I'd call him this week.
Oh,
great.
It's all my pickup soccer buddies, Darren. They're all
amazing.
Getting in here now. Although we don't play pickup anymore. What's up with that?
Need to fix that.
Let's just change the show. Let's just talk about why we don't play pickup anymore.
Could your team have taken on the LAFC that played tonight?
I think we maybe could have. I think we had a little more fight in us when we did play.
Oh
yeah. We definitely would have fouled more.
Yeah,
if that's something you wanted to see from LAFC tonight, we could have done it.
Well, I don't know. Last 10 minutes was
yeah.
I think we ended with two reds, didn't we?
If you would have wanted to see what was the last 10 minets, but 90 minutes of that, we could have done that for you.
I would love to see that. Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't know if our team could have made 90 minutes, but we definitely would have given at least a solid half of effort. But I just got home, so I don't know if this has been said yet, but it's really frustrating because so much of that was self-inflicted. That first goal obviously is just beautiful Nancy ball. Like, they're just passing through us, and their press, both offensively and defensively, is just beautiful. Like, they have so much energy, and they're just going for 90 minutes. But it's frustrating because the Atuesta giveaway in the middle, like, that's fixable. The Martinez giveaway in the middle, like, that's fixable. The Cucho goal, like, stepped him quicker, that's fixable. The free kick, like, somebody get a foot on that. That's all very fixable things. So it feels like very much we kind of like got ourselves tonight. And then obviously once tempers are hot and flaring, like, you know, we kind of lost it. I think, and I'm curious to get your guys' opinion on this, if this lineup, a lineup idea I had would have changed it differently, because obviously no Tillman, which kind of sucks. We could have used some more control through the midfield when they're playing a 3-4-3. Is that what they run?
Yeah, but like I said earlier, they really get into that setup where they're just like 3-2-5. They send all those guys forward, and then they're just pinging off of each other, and they're always filling those lanes of those 5 up top.
Yeah. So my idea was, instead of putting Bogusz out on the wing, where we could have used somebody with a little more ball control. I think Duenas had a good game for the most part, but he's just still small, and you kind of need someone with a little more experience. I think maybe you set up with Bogusz in the middle and maybe bring Angel in on the wing, because that dude had some fight in him tonight, which was good to see. Sure. And you can still keep Kamara up top. You know, he does good hold-up play. But I just think maybe having Mati in the middle, like for better control of the midfield, where you have Nagby and whoever replaced Aiden Morris, like, is very good also. So I think maybe that would have had better control just from the start, because I don't know, dude, we just got outpassed. Like, you look at that middle central third of the field, we never fully had control of that. It felt like we were playing through the defense and around the wings, like through the defense and around the wings. And kind of a problem when Chanel and freaking Murillo are having the most touches on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think Maddie maybe shows for the ball more, but also, like, he didn't really show for the ball at the wing. Like, I like Maddie in midfield, but not in this type of game. I don't rate him as a control type midfielder, because he takes risks. And he loses the ball in some bad situations because of that. Like, you have trade-offs, right? He's a risk reward type guy. I think Steve probably made the best of a bad situation, because to your point, like, you could put Angel in, or you could even put Martinez in, which a lot of people were saying, but like, Martinez is not fit, and I think Angel's not really fit. So I think he's like looking at it and being like, I can't start either of those guys, because I know regardless of how the game is going, I'm subbing one of them. So I got to keep them on the bench. So I feel like, and some people have alluded to it, like, yeah, if Tillman's here, like, the game is different. And it's sad because, and I know people were saying, like, we don't have depth. Like, there's three guys. It's not just him though, that are like are on the team that are going to be here soon. Giroud, Oliveira, Tillman. Like, you put those 3 guys now I don't think we're talking so much about depth. Does the game end differently? I don't know, but I think that this LAFC team, I'm not so worried about. Depth's not what I'm worried about. Like, I'm worried about them not performing when, like, as you said, like, Columbus, it wasn't just them with the ball. Like, they were an incredible counter-pressing team and an incredible pressing team. And LAFC either didn't execute well enough, or, like I said, at times, like, it felt like guys were not showing for the ball. And you can't have that against Columbus.
Yeah, I definitely think that you look at when we're coming down the wings, and so many times it was 2v3, and it's like Bawanga and maybe Atuesta, and then you're like, how did they get 3 people back in front of them all of a sudden? And they're just moving so well as a unit back and forth across the field. I would say, probably to like kind of wrap up my points, my sad foot would probably be Martinez, because I thought, yes, he's not match fit, but the dude's only putting in a 30-minute shift, and it felt like it was a half-assed 30-minute shift. Like, you looked at Angel comes in, and the dude's got some bite to him, and there's one play where he's taking off up the field, and like, he's got some energy, and Martinez is back with the defense. And even like after he gave up that ball in the midfield, he's just kind of like shrugs his shoulders and is, well, oh, my bad, guys. Like, roll the eyes and like teenage, like, I don't know. It was a little frustrating watching him, because he's supposed to be this wonder kid. And if he's going to have an attitude, it's like, come on, put on Ordaz before him and put on Angel before him. Kids who want to be there.
We're still getting used to Martinez, but yeah, there's an element to his game, and I think it's been pretty consistent. Like, it's almost like a bedside manner kind of thing. Like, I don't know if that's just like how he is, but he doesn't show like the fight that maybe he has. Like, but you also get the sense on the other end of it that like Ordaz and Duenas, like, they're almost like over, like, they're the pendulum on the opposite side, where they're like, I have to show everyone that I have so much fight, and then I'm like trying so hard, and maybe like the play isn't quite where the fight is. I would love for all of them to fall somewhere in the middle.
Look, Martinez has probably been the most talented player on almost every single field he's stepped on for almost his entire life. And now he's raised up a level. He's starting to play more with the national team. So he's starting to find like how he's got to do better for them. But yeah, your guys' points are well taken. Like, he seems to only be happy when the ball's at his feet, and he's got to add that other layer to his game. Look, I wish there was still a world in which you could have just a pure 10 that could just do whatever he wanted and not care about the rest of the game. But that's just not the modern game that we play in now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for letting me come
Thanks
on.
Thanks for joining us.
Vince,
Good to see you, dude.
I joined a new team. So, like, shoot me a text if you want to get some minutes on the field.
Yeah. Give me a call. Gotta get out there. My legs will be dead in 20 minutes, but I got to build that fitness back up. Me and Martinez. Maybe I'll get David Martinez out there with me.
All of us can build our conditioning up.
Yeah.
See you guys.
All right. Thanks for joining us. That was an interesting question. Like, do you think that Bogusz tried or was told to try to play a different game this match than usual, given the Tillman being out and the situation that they were in?
I don't know. I was a little like taken aback that he wasn't trying to drop in and help out in possession the way he kind of does. Like, even when he plays on the wing, he still kind of plays it as like a free roaming kind of 10-ish winger. And it's been really helpful in some games. The Galaxy game, like especially the first half of the Galaxy game, he was really helping out and build up and being kind of this extra guy in midfield, even though he wasn't playing that kind of false 9 position anymore. In this game, he just, I don't know, he maybe couldn't get a rhythm. He couldn't really find the spaces to be in. But yeah, a little surprised. I mean, like we've said, there's been a lot of games too. There could be so many factors on why like guys maybe didn't play quite the way they did. But I think the worrying would be like if the game's not going well and you guys are not finding other ways to like show up, that's a worry more so than if you guys are just tired, you know?
Yeah. So that's another segment that I haven't brought up yet that is worth saying. It got chippy at the end there, and everyone was frustrated, understandably so. They were exhausted and completely outplayed. But now, because of that, Murillo and Palencia, and because of injury, Aaron Long are all out in the next match against RSL.
Long not out for sure. He's
Long might be back in time.
Yeah, he's just dealing with a knock, and I think they would
probably now will be.
Maybe rather not he start. I think, yeah, the real decision is at center back. Is it Eddie and Long or is it Chanot and Long? Chanot obviously also is a risk too because he can pick up little injuries a little bit older. You're playing him on short rest. If I had to hazard a guess, it's going to be Eddie and Long just because I feel like Aaron was probably rested for this game for this reason to see how he would react and how he would come along. So, and then, you know what? I will say this. I feel a lot better about Eddie in this past couple of weeks than I have when he was first coming into games. So
I agree.
I'm not too worried about that in that regard.
That's true. Eddie Segura, our savior.
Nicest man. I mean, him and I know we always say Elia is like the nicest man in the world, but him and Eddie Segura are like almost neck and neck. Eddie Segura is one of the best. Oh, what a comment from Daniel.
Daniel says up the girth, and another one from him. I think we've reached the end of the live stream, so it's time to answer the question.
Yeah, Darren,
is Columbus a walkable city?
You guys literally did this at MLS Cup. You did it in the rain. Was it walkable?
You know what? There are specific pockets of Columbus that were walkable.
Okay.
I don't have walk score pulled up, but if I'm gonna guess, I'll give the Darren walk score maybe a 77.
Okay. Yeah, it's like here in Long Beach. Long Beach is actually a lot bigger than people think, but there are pockets of it. Like downtown's pretty walkable. Like where I live is pretty walkable. Then there's Belmont Shore, it's pretty walkable, but they don't all seem to really connect together. So I think you said, there's pockets. That's some cities are like that.
Yeah, it was. I think there's a lot of cities. I think, especially in the Midwest, probably that it's like here's where all the people go when they want to do stuff, and then the most egregious version of that is probably Atlanta, where it's like here's all the houses, and then here's the city.
Yeah, because it's built in a circle, right?
Yeah. Anyway, we've done the city talk. I think we've done it all tonight.
I think we did pretty good tonight. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. This was very fun. I thought I was dreading it just a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was too. Thank you guys for all hanging out. That's what made it so great. I hope that we can join you at a meetup at halftime when we can make it to the match soon. That was awesome. Both this post-game show with everybody hanging out and that meetup, I can't think of silver linings more sorely needed.
We're the
more
real
appreciated.
We're the real winners, is what you're saying.
The real winners are all of us and nobody else.
Yes.
And New Mexico for showing up way more than Columbus and knowing that they're yellow.
Yeah. Like legitimately. And also, I mean, it's not often that 400 fans show up to our stadium and everyone walks away going, hey, we really like those guys.
That's true. Sometimes we take some shit from, our rivals and things like that for not being, we're nice when the other fans are nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us. Like the video, subscribe to the video, subscribe to the podcast, review us, tell a friend, just, think good thoughts. If you really like it, if you're still watching, maybe throw down for the Patreon or some merch. We got some awesome merch this season. Maybe we'll get some more later in the season. We got a season preview coming up. We're doing a mailbag. I should announce that. We're doing a mailbag for the next episode. Right?
Yes.
Good. Yeah. So get at us on Twitter, any social media platform, wherever. Or if you're on the Patreon, we've got a Patreon ongoing chat for that. Any questions you've got about now or in general or on the pitch, off the pitch, us, LAFC, the world, life, we don't care.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Mostly we're going to focus on world events and politics. Anyway, thank you for joining us as always. Any other parting words, Vince?
Honestly, that's sports.
It really is sports.
It really was. Yeah, that was sports.
All right. Travis, hope you're alive. Come back soon. Love you. Bye.